The penthouse balcony overlooked the neon-lit chaos of Gangnam, but no one inside noticed the view. The air was thick with tension, suffocating as cigarette smoke and expensive cologne. Two rival Korean mafia bosses sat across from each other like wolves trapped in a cage, smiling, respectful, and ready to draw blood the second the other blinked. On one side sat General Hwang, a brutal old guard kingpin who built his empire on extortion and silenced rivals with cement shoes. On the other sat his younger, more cunning enemy, Baek Jin-ho, whose tech-laundered money flowed cleaner than bottled water. Between them, standing near the glass balcony doors with her wrists loosely bound, was the woman no one expected. Her name was Nia Okafor, 34 years old, Chicago-born, DC-raised, and a former intelligence analyst for a three-letter agency that would deny her existence if asked. She hadn't come to Seoul by accident. She'd been tracking a money trail tied to cartel-linked crypto wallets when Baek's men mistook her for a rival spy. For 3 days, they'd held her in a soundproof room, asking questions she refused to answer. Tonight, she'd been dragged to this meeting as a gift, a living bargaining chip to prove Baek's goodwill to Hwang. Neither man understood who they were dealing with. Hwang leaned forward, his dead eyes flicking over Nia like she was livestock. American and black, he smiled, revealing gold-capped teeth. Unusual, does she speak Korean? Baek shrugged. She understands more than she admits, but her value is not her tongue, it's her access. She cracked codes that made us look like children. Hwang laughed, a dry, ugly sound. Then she dies here or she works for me. Either way. Nia tuned them out. She wasn't listening to threats, she was calculating. Her hands were bound with a single zip tie, loose enough to twist. The balcony railing was waist-high. The drop, 23 floors onto a service road. But she'd studied the building's layout during her capture, every fire escape, every delivery entrance. And she'd noticed the garbage truck that idled below every Friday night at exactly this hour. Tonight was Friday. Hwang rose from his chair, reaching for her arm. Let me see her eyes. I want to know if she fears me. Baek didn't stop him. That was his mistake. As Hwang's thick fingers closed around her bicep, Nia moved. Not a way through. She twisted her wrists apart, snapping the zip tie against the sharp edge of a glass table she'd positioned herself beside hours earlier. The plastic broke. Hwang grunted in surprise. Baek's hand went to his gun, but Nia was already running. She didn't scream. She didn't hesitate. She crossed the marble floor in 3 sprinting strides, threw open the balcony door, and climbed the railing like a gymnast. The Seoul wind hit her face, cold, loud, alive. Behind her, Hwang roared. Baek shouted, "Stop her. Don't shoot, you'll miss." She looked down. The garbage truck was there, its canvas roof open. A pile of industrial bags bulged beneath. She jumped. No flailing, no prayer, just the swan dive of a woman who'd rather trust gravity than a monster's mercy. The fall lasted an eternity and no time at all. She hit the bags with a sickening crunch, shoulder first, then ribs, and the air exploded from her lungs. Darkness swallowed her for 3 heartbeats. Then pain, beautiful screaming pain, which meant she was alive. Above her, framed in the penthouse light, 2 silhouettes stared down from the balcony. Baek looked horrified. Hwang looked furious. But a third figure stood in the shadows of the adjacent building, a man no one had noticed watching. Kang Dae-hyun, the ghost of Itaewon, a third mafia boss who'd come to observe his rival's meeting. He lowered his binoculars. His lips curled. He turned to his lieutenant and said quietly, "She's brave. I want her." Below, Nia crawled out of the truck, blood running down her temple, and disappeared into the Seoul night. The game had just begun. The rain started exactly 37 seconds after Nia hit the truck. Seoul's skis opened up as if the city itself was trying to wash away the evidence. Down on the service road, Baek's men spilled out of the building's loading bay like angry ants, shouting into earpieces, flashlights cutting through the downpour, searching for a body that was no longer there. The delivery truck's rear canvas flapped in the wind. Inside, only crumpled garbage bags and a faint smear of blood remained. She was gone. Chaos ruled the street. A young lieutenant grabbed a civilian by the collar, demanding answers in frantic Korean. Another man kicked over a trash can in frustration. Beek himself appeared at the building's service entrance minutes later, his perfectly tailored suit now soaked, his face stripped of all composure. He screamed into a phone. Find her. She saw everything. She heard the names. If she talks to the wrong people, we're finished. No one noticed the black Genesis G90 idling across the street. No one looked up at the adjacent building's 7th floor terrace, where a single figure stood motionless behind the rain-streaked glass railing. Kang Dae-hyun watched it all unfold like a director, observing his own play. He was not a tall man, but he carried himself like one who had never needed height. His face was unreadable, high cheekbones, a mouth that rarely smiled, eyes so dark they seemed to absorb light. At 41, Kang had built an empire not through brute force but through patience. While H-Wang collected territories and Beek collected technology, Kang collected people. Specifically, he collected the unbreakable ones. His men whispered about his museum, not of art but of operatives. A former child soldier from Cambodia who now ran his logistics, a disgraced Russian surgeon who patched up his soldiers, a hacker from Belarus who had once crashed an entire city's power grid for fun. Kang didn't buy loyalty. He recognized it, and then he claimed it. Behind him, his right-hand man, Han Yi-won, stood in respectful silence. Han had served Kang for 12 years. He knew that look on his boss's face. It was the same look Kang had worn when he first watched the Russian surgeon amputate her own infected finger with a box cutter rather than beg for help. It was the look of a predator who had just spotted something rare. The rain dripped from Kang's cigarette. He didn't smoke it. He simply held it, letting the ember die, his eyes fixed on the empty space where Nia had fallen. Yi-won finally spoke. Sir, should we join the search? Beek's men are disorganized, but they'll cover ground fast. We could find her first and— No. The word was quiet, final. Kang turned slightly, just enough for Yi-won to see his profile. The boss's expression wasn't cold. It was something stranger, admiration. Did you see her face, Yi-won, before she jumped? Yi-won hesitated. From this distance, sir, I couldn't. She wasn't afraid. Kang's voice dropped lower, almost reverent. I've watched men beg before they died. I've watched soldiers weep. I've watched traitors offer their own mothers in exchange for mercy. But that woman, she calculated the fall. She chose the truck. She jumped like she was stepping off a bus. He finally brought the dead cigarette to his lips, as if tasting the memory. Beek panicked. H-Wang hesitated, but she committed. Kang turned fully now, facing Yi-won. For the first time in years, there was something alive in his eyes. Not hunger, not greed, recognition. She's brave, Kang said, each word deliberate. I want her. Yi-won understood immediately. This wasn't about romance. Kang Dae-hyun did not fall in love. He collected masterpieces. The woman who jumped from 23 floors rather than kneel, she was a masterpiece. He didn't want to break her. He wanted to give her a stage. Down below, Beek's men continued their frantic search. Sirens wailed in the distance. The rain fell harder. Kang turned and walked back inside, already calculating his next move. Find out everything about her. Name, history, weaknesses, but do not touch her. Do not follow her tonight. Let her run. He paused at the door. She'll run to something interesting, and when she stops running, I'll be there. The balcony door closed. The verdict was final. The most dangerous man in Seoul had just chosen his new obsession. Nia Okafor woke in a love motel room the size of a closet, her ribs wrapped in stolen bandages and her shoulder screaming with every breath. The television flickered with a news report about a foreign woman sought for questioning. No name, no photo. Yet, but the clock was ticking. She had exactly two things going for her. Beek's men were incompetent, and Seoul's underground was a labyrinth built for ghosts. For the next 72 hours, Nia moved like smoke. She slept in PC bangs, 24-hour internet cafes, curled between gaming chairs while teenagers clicked away at League of Legends beside her. She showered in public bathhouses, paid in cash she'd lifted from Beek's unconscious driver. She ate convenience store kimbap in subway tunnels, her eyes tracking every camera, every uniform, every whispered phone call. The city was a chessboard, and she intended to stay 3 moves ahead. But she didn't know about the third player. Kang Dae-hyun's trackers worked differently. They didn't swarm. They didn't shout. They watched. A janitor in the subway station who noted her limp. An elderly woman selling fried chicken who remembered the tall black girl with the tired eyes. A taxi driver paid double to share his dashcam footage. Kang's men gathered data like librarians, quiet, patient, and thorough. By the third morning, they had her pattern. PC bang in Hongdae until 2 a.m., Yi-won reported. Then the women-only sauna near Yuha University. She's careful. No phone, no cards. She's been running on instinct. Kang smiled. Then she's ready. Meanwhile, Beek's patience had evaporated. His men had failed. His reputation was bleeding. At dawn, he issued a new order. Find her and silence her permanently. Dead bodies didn't talk. A bounty went out, not publicly, but through the Underworld's Whisper network. $30,000 for confirmation of her death. Nia felt the shift immediately. 2 different men followed her into a convenience store that afternoon. One wore Beek's colors on his belt buckle. The other wore plain clothes but moved like military. She bought water, walked out, and disappeared through a service alley she'd mapped the night before. The men found only an empty bottle. That evening, hiding in a foreigner-friendly bar in Itaewon, Nia stared at her reflection in a dark window. Bruised, exhausted, alive. A bartender slid her a note. Not Beek's style, too clean, too precise. She unfolded it. You jumped, most don't, I respect that. Dinner tomorrow. My car will wait at the alley entrance at 8 p.m. Come if you want to stop running. KD. No threat, no demand, just an invitation. Nia read it 3 times. She remembered the second silhouette on the balcony, the one who hadn't panicked, the one who'd watched. She could keep running. Seoul was wide. The world was wider, but Beek would always be hunting, and she was tired. Or she could meet the man who called her brave. She folded the note, tucked it into her pocket, and for the first time in 4 days she smiled. Tomorrow night, she decided, she'd stop running. She'd walk in the front door.
If this story kept you hooked to the end, subscribe now for more thrilling stories of love, betrayal, power, and shocking twists. Another epic story drops soon.